Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
You're good. And when you said this is the team that Babs was hoping for, I didn't know if you meant talent or style and systems, and you just explained it. It's the defensive play. So what got through to them now that they didn't with Babs?
You know what? We can look at each of us and say, hey, where we were, can you imagine in your mid to late 20s and you look back, where was I 6 or 7 years ago in terms of decisions I made? Hey, I agree. A lot of things, and we're not going to get into them on this show. But this is where this hockey team is. I think Mitch Marner's always been a 200-foot guy, but he's a motivated guy now to really play the game. I think Austin winning the Hart Trophy last year's told Mitch, why not me? And I could see him maybe even winning this award if able to stay consistently strong throughout the year. But they've just bought into what it takes to win in the National Hockey League. And that means having your heart broken a few times.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
I just want to ask you about Ottawa, because from the moment you arrived, it just seems like the perfect fit. Has it gone as well as it looks from the outside for you personally?
Made it a family decision. I had 3 or 4 different offers on places to go. Ottawa was where they wanted to be, and it's worked out well. It's been a really good fit for both me and my family when they're there.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Yes, it is. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm ringing the bell because it is such a special day. It's Friday, and so many of our viewers love it because it's Football Friday here on the RP Show. And yes, we're coming to you from beautiful South Florida. We've got the Moose, Darren Moose Dupont. He is in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. And for those uninitiated, we are live on the Game Plus television network across all 10 provinces and 31 U.S. states. We're live streaming on YouTube, so tell all your friends. If you don't have that cable network, you can join us on YouTube. And we're also on the radio. Shout out Rhino Radio and the beautiful people of Metro Atlanta, all of Atlanta, listening on WQEE. Hey, Moose, are you ready to talk football? I get ready, man. I hope that you're mentally sharp, because I'm going to throw a few things at you football-wise here today, okay? You ready? You ready to go? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great.
Okay.
I'm feeling great. Let's go.
I see Carlos in Indianapolis says, it has been a great week for football on the RP Show. He's right, but for the most part, it's almost entirely football today. We've got Justin Dunk from 3downnation.com, Canada's Adam Schefter coming up in hour 2. Joey Alfieri of the Montreal Alouettes joining us. He's in hour 1. Director Jordan, can you please hit the quick 6 show horn and let's get down to it. Clark is not with us. Producer Clark is not with us. He's doing double duty today. So Jordan's doing his best octopus impression, and so far, so good. Okay, we're going to open with what I'm sure everybody's talking about, the Thursday night football game, and then a fun audience participation question too, okay? This is where I said put your thinking caps on. Baker Mayfield threw a 23-yard touchdown pass to Van Jefferson with 10 seconds to go to cap a 98-yard drive, and the LA Rams earned a shocking 17-16 comeback victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Just 2 days after the Rams claimed Mayfield off waivers from Carolina, the former top pick went 22 of 35 for 230 yards and snapped the defending Super Bowl champion 6-game losing streak in dramatic fashion. Listen, we got a lot of ballers listening today because the CFL guys, it's now their off season, and I know they're listening or watching. So you guys tell me this, and the American football guys that are in the States, if you can answer this. That last drive for the Rams, Baker Mayfield took a sack, and he took a big sack. And Darren, the analytics say, because it's such a big part of what we do in the world now, and especially football, they say if you allow a sack, your chances of scoring a touchdown in that drive are less than 20%. I think 18%. So basically, you allow a sack, 82% of the time your drive's going to end and not get a touchdown. Baker wasn't here on that. And I love that guy. I've been saying it all week. And I think the only way you're going to get Baker Mayfield to quit is you're going to have to put a bullet in him, because he's never going to quit. Never say die on a play, on his career. I just love that guy. So I was very happy with how that game ended. What's your assessment of it?
Yeah, Baker Mayfield's out there looking like Tom Brady in the last minute of the game. You know, he looked like Brady against the Saints, and that was unbelievable. I mean, you were telling me about Sean McVay's speech in our pre-show meeting. You know, he gave him the game ball and said, this guy's been here 10 minutes. I think it's less than 48 hours. He was in L.A. and you know, with that group. And most of the time I saw a couple of photos of him with movie stars. He's with Jeremy Piven and others. But he got in there and just let it fly. And here's a guy with a chip on his shoulder, something to prove. But he's ultra creative. When he's on, his arm is very accurate. That was always his hallmark, was accuracy. It just hasn't translated at the NFL level. But to go 98 yards, I heard all the tweets. If Baker goes 98 yards, I'll eat my shirt. I'll do this. I'll blah, 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 blah. And everybody was eating their words after that 98-yard drive. That's magic, man. You don't have to watch the game. You just got to watch the final 2 minutes.
It was Tuesday. They claimed him off waivers. 2 days later, he's playing. Listen, I worked in pro football for 20 years in the trenches with a team, and acquiring a guy game week and playing him is unheard of, let alone 48 hours. But the ballers, you tell me if you can what the analytics are for when you allow a sack on any given drive, how far down your chances go of scoring a touchdown on that drive. It's minuscule. He overcame it, and I love the guy. And, of course, the thing is he's just keeping the spot warm, I would think, until Matthew Stafford is healthy again. I would think. That's the sucky thing, but who knows? Hell of a story on Thursday Night Football. WQEE Rock in Metro Atlanta writing in. Ryan O'Radio says, RP and Moose, time for the RP show. Thank you, Ryan. Shout out to the Peach State. And I will get to the comments in a moment. Oh, Randy from Winnipeg saying, what's up with Baker Mayfield headbutting teammates with helmets when he is helmetless? He was a little fired up. How well do you know football people? They're just very aggressive. They're very aggressive people. And so Baker, I said I've loved him from his OU days. I was upset he went to Cleveland because I knew that probably wasn't going to go well. It doesn't go well for anybody there. I thought he'd have a chance in Carolina. That didn't pan out, but I still know he's a winner. I know he's a fighter, and I love people like that. And I'm glad to see him come out on top and prove, shove it where the sun don't shine. Way to go, Baker. Anyways, my fun question for the audience participation. I have a friend, Dean Bear. He put a photo on Twitter of him and his son leaving the airport in Canada, flying to Los Angeles to watch the Miami Dolphins play on Sunday in the National Football League, SoFi Stadium. And he's like, my son's first game was his thing. And I want to ask the viewers, what was your first NFL game? Got to think about it for a second. And mine was Seattle, 1995-96. We went out there with the Regina Pats, and the owners of the team were good enough to buy tickets for the whole football team, whole hockey team, to go watch the Seahawks play in the old Kingdome. It was awesome. And they were playing the New York Jets. I'll never forget it. And I was just Joe Hillbilly from the town of 640 people, the hayseed that I am, man. That was the biggest day of my life. The first NFL game, 1995, and I thank the Pats for buying the tickets. That was mine. Seattle, 90s. What was yours, Moose?
Well, I think you should know you were there with me. It was 2018 in December. We got photos walking across the bridge off Broadway down towards Nissan Stadium in Nashville, and it was a Sunday afternoon. We were going early to tailgate. We hung out with the cheerleaders. We had a private little get together in the corner inside the stadium, and then we watched Tennessee beat the New York Jets in that football game. That was it. And then 4 days later, we watched them beat Jacksonville on Thursday Night Football in person. So I got 2 back-to-back really quick with my team. So those were my first 2 experiences.
Remember that time, that week, when we were in that bar? It was called Losers. And the door flew open, and all those cheerleaders came in. But Saints. They were the New Orleans Saints cheerleaders, and they were on a bye week, and they came to Nashville to party because it wasn't New Orleans. Thank God I quit drinking, man. I'd come home from Nashville photos. In a box. Yeah, they wanted photos of us. They're like, you guys are doing a radio show here?
That's hot.
That's hot.
Sheesh. I should have dug up those photos. I have them.
Do you? Maybe Monday.
Yeah.
It happened, folks. It happened. Trust us. Carlos in Indianapolis says 2006 NFL wildcard game, Kansas City Chiefs at the Colts. Jeff the Stamps fan says Oakland Raiders at San Diego Chargers. Late December 2003, I was at Disneyland with family, but I skipped out one day to go to a game. There's a football guy for you right there. Ryan from Toronto writes in and says, Happy Football Friday, Rod Squad. John Ohm writes in, he says, Magic Mayfield. And John says, my first NFL game was 1994, Chicago Bears at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the old Sombrero Stadium. Good times. So you guys keep those comments going with that if you don't mind, and I'm going to move on here, but what was your first NFL game? And way to go, Baker Mayfield. I love him. He's a winner. He's a fighter. And he ain't going down without a fight. And I love that. By the way, hey, the Kinsman Telemiracle 50/50 online raffle is live now. We got people driving into Saskatchewan to buy their tickets. We got them having their family buy their tickets for them and getting the money e-transferred back and forth because you got to be in Saskatchewan to buy the tickets, 19 years of age and over. We're going to make the draw 1 week from today. And we're just asking you to help out the Kinsman Foundation of Saskatchewan. They improve people's quality of life every day through mobility equipment, medical assistance, travel. It's the most important thing that we do in Saskatchewan. That is a fact, Jack. Telemiracle5050.com. The website is obviously live now. The draw is live now. Please just get it done and don't wait until the last minute. We got to spend a couple minutes on hockey. By the way, we did meet with Bet Regal yesterday, and our exclusive betting partner in Sportsbook, and they really love Deal or No Deal. That's what I got out of that conversation, Darren. They're like, we really like that, what you guys do. I'm like, well, thank you. I came up with that myself. We'll play that next hour. National Hockey League Thursday night. Pierre-Luc Dubois scored twice, had an assist. Connor Hellebuck made 29 saves, and the Winnipeg Jets beat the St. Louis Blues 5-2. Kyle Connor, Blake Wheeler, and Cole Perfetti, Mom Spaghetti, also scored, and Mark Scheifele added a pair of assists. The Jets have won 3 straight. Shout out Winnipeg. We love you. Thanks for watching MTS Cable, on Game Plus, and, of course, YouTube, too. Mitch Marner scored a second-period goal to extend his point streak to 21 games as the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the LA Kings 5-0. Ilya Samsonov made 29 saves to earn his first shutout of the season. Braden Point had 2 goals, and the Tampa Bay Lightning scored 3 times in the third period to beat the Nashville Predators 5-2. Tyler Seguin scored with 29 seconds left in overtime, and the Dallas Stars beat the Ottawa Senators 4-3 to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season. Here in Sunrise, Florida, veteran Chris Tierney scored his first goal of the season in his second game with Florida, and the Panthers scored 4 times in the second period to wall up the Detroit Red Wings 5-1. Rookie Matt Kierstead also scored his first goal for the Panthers, who have won 7 in a row over Detroit. I'll say something about that. We got time. Can you interject and just tell our viewers about the Ryan Lomberg story, the guy they call the Lamborghini down here in Florida? People think that we're BSing about the friendships and so forth that we're making here in Florida. I'm not a BSer. Never have been. You can't BS a BSer. Tell folks what's going on, man. This is pretty cool. I didn't even know about it till this morning.
No, it's pretty neat. I'm browsing our Instagram story because when we're out and, we all share in contributing to the social, you had posted some great videos from the game, from the arena. And one of them, you were down at ice level capturing this wonderful moment with Ryan Lomberg coming to the glass, his wife on the other side, and his young child. His wife's holding up the baby up against the glass, and Ryan's doing this, and he's waving, and it's a great little moment, and you're capturing it back and forth. So I pulled it, saved it, added it as an Instagram video. I tagged the NHL, the Panthers, and Ryan Lomberg himself in it. And lo and behold, after the game was over, we got a DM from Ryan thanking us so much for that video and wondering if we can send him the raw file because his wife really saw it and really wants the video. So he thanked us for capturing that moment, him and his family, and we're going to get him on the show here soon to talk about that and the Panther season. So very excited.
Yeah, he said he wants to come on. Ryan Lomberg. They call him the Lamborghini. And my buddy Thad, that's his favorite Panther. And Jess too, which incidentally, I watched the first period in the press box, the second period in a suite, and the third period with my friends Jess and Thad, who were sitting 2 rows apart. But we had a great visit. It was a party in there last night. The booze was flowing. And I did leave early. I don't know if you saw the video going around of a big brawl in the stands. That happens when you add alcohol. Festive season, they were getting into it. These things happen. Can I say something about the Detroit Red Wings? I went to the game quite early. And listen, it's now been a little over a year that I've been living in NHL markets. I mean, I was around it with my dad, but not day to day like this, not at every game. And now I am. The Detroit Red Wings support staff, some of their broadcast group, they all got white hair. And they just carry themselves like the Detroit freaking Red Wings. You know what I mean? Or more like the Detroit Red Wings. They all got the Red Wings logo stitched in their leather briefcase, and a suit that's got the Red Wings logo on there, like shoving it out like that. But kind of you not even doing that because they're so cool and so old, they know they're cool. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there going, I wonder what other teams are like that. I bet the Chicago Blackhawks are like that. Any original 6 team. Leafs, they all got white hair, and they all just reek of, we're awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I know. You walk around very regal, and it's just, you ooze professionalism and confidence and history of success. And it's so cool. That's why, you have to be patient in life and earn it. You have to earn it because, they're not just hiring young people right off the street and throwing them in executive positions. It means something to be in those organizations. At least it should.
Some teams are. And they got 1 million people running around with walkie-talkies on and headsets that are 19 years old, not old enough to shave. And Detroit, it was just awesome. It was cool. I'm like, I can't wait to have white hair. I'm going to have to ditch my Control GX. Just let it go, baby. Ted in Red Deer says, I think it's called class, boys. Oh, I know. Kevin the Medium says, perception is everything. It was just emanating off of them, man. I'm like, this is cool. This is Original 6, Detroit. We'll be back. We're only 2 points into the quick 6. On the way, Joey Alfieri and Justin Dunk. It is a Football Friday on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and WQEE The Key, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to The Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Outstanding job done by Director Jordan today, because we don't have a Clark. He is busy doing other things in the massive IKS studios, the warehouse. And way to go, Jordan. I just want to point that out. Value people, Moose, as they say. We're asking our viewers a few things. I always get ensconced in the YouTube comments in the break and forget what I'm supposed to be doing. It is a football Friday here. We're having fun. It's another Friday, and man, these weeks are whizzing by. I'm like, let's just have fun. If you're looking to tune in here and learn something, you went to the wrong place. But if you came here to have a belly laugh and feel good, you came to the right place. And the people texting in, one of our questions today is, what was your first NFL game? I said mine was Seattle, 1995. Yours was Nashville, 2018. Sean in Vancouver, BC is watching on Game Plus, and he says, Bears at the Cardinal. About 10 years ago, Jay Cutler was something like 2-5 at halftime. 2 for 5 at halftime. NFL games can be really boring live. Really boring, really long. I can't explain it. Don't want to get into it. The CFL is hella more exciting and entertaining than the NFL football. It's the shit spa, the shininess, right? And the fact that we feel like we know the players because we see them in the TV commercials. We see them on TV all the time. Richard Murray is watching in North Battleford, Sask. He said, my first NFL game is never. Still waiting to get to one. Maybe have to win the lottery first. Well, yeah, I don't know how expensive the tickets are. I mean, I do. That's why part of the reason why I don't go to everyone. They're very expensive. But stop for a second because it is a football Friday. Guilty as charged, farm kid here, Canadian, new in this area. Still trying to figure out this college football thing. The Boca Raton Bowl, the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl will be here in Boca Raton in about 10 days' time, Darren, featuring the Liberty Flames, coached by Hugh Freeze and his offensive coordinator, Ken Austin, and they're taking on Toledo. Yes, Kent's going to be here in Boca. Worlds colliding, Jerry. And I thought about, I was asked today, do you want to go down and broadcast live from the Liberty Flames Hotel? You're going to be at the game, going to be in the press box. And I'm like, I know, that's 10 days away, dude. My bracelet says 1 day at a time. Overload! But I went and looked at the tickets, and they were $57 for sideline, $32 for the end zone. That ain't bad for a bowl game, wouldn't you say?
It's cheap. Very cheap. It's good.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yeah. So college football has it right, and some junior hockey teams have it right. NLL too, the tickets are cheap. Don, our Navy friend, says, my first NFL game was at Huskies Stadium in 1999, Indianapolis versus the Seahawks. Both teams sucked at the time. That was obviously, Donnie Boy, when they were building whatever they're calling it now. Lululemon Field? What do they call the Seahawks Stadium?
Lumen Field, yeah.
Names.
I think it's Lumen now. It was CenturyLink.
I think it's Lululemon Field. John in Edmonton says, Rod, Edmonton Elks hire former Riders offensive line coach Steven Sorrells. Yeah, I saw that. Good for Sorrells. He was at our Grey Cup party. Did you talk to him? Did you get introduced to Sorrells at the party?
I didn't. No, I didn't get introduced to him. I
Okay.
might have been on limo service at the time.
Oh, yeah. Don Mitchell, Jeff the Stamps fan wants to know, why were they playing at Husky Stadium? It's because they were building Lululemon Field. I remember it. They knocked down the Kingdome, and while they built the new stadium in Seattle, the new football stadium, they played at the University Stadium for a couple of years. I remember that very well. I didn't kill all my brain cells. Ryan in Toronto, watching on Game Plus, says the CFL's 20-second play clock really helps the game pace. It helps the game pace for sure, but watch an NFL game sometime. They start the 40-second play clock the second the last play ended. Whereas with the CFL, for the most part, the clock doesn't start till the time gets whistled in, and in some cases, the snap of the ball. Arlen Bruce, the third, writes in, he says, 1995, my first NFL game at Arrowhead Stadium. I was honored at halftime for Gatorade High School Player of the Week. I got to stand on the logo. It was amazing. I was honored twice that year. I don't doubt it, man. I'm surprised they didn't rename it the Arlen Bruce Award. I went on to stardom in the CFL, right, Moose? And a little cup of coffee in the NFL. Kevin, the medium, says mine was Buffalo versus Seattle. Flutie was quarterback at the time. They called it Canada Day. Free beer. I don't remember much. He says, I think it was 1999 or 2000. Again, that is why we do what we do here. Have fun. What I tell you, you want to come here and have fun and talk to a couple guys you know, that's what we do here. We don't get too serious. We don't get too deep. People are starting to figure that out. Sidestepping for 1 second, a hockey question. Phil3223. That's his handle on YouTube. He says, the way Tage Thompson played against the Blue Jackets, I would have thought Russia would have traded for him. Try harder. And I don't want to talk about Brittany Griner today, because the jokes are going around. I'll tell you the one thing Serena brought up this morning. We were going in for coffee or leaving, Brooklyn Water Bagel. We were leaving. And she said, did you see in the news, they're talking about a U.S. military vet is still in a jail in Russia. And now the big thing down here is, how come Brittany Griner gets out and the U.S. military vet is still in jail over there? How come she's more important? I'm like, don't want to touch it. Nothing to do with me. Let's keep it fun and light. What do you say, Darren?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I will get back to the CFL points in a moment, but the Leafs The 5-0 over the Kings last night. Dude, are you getting excited about the Toronto Maple Leafs?
At times I am, yeah. I mean, especially last night too. They just kept pouring it on, and they've got the talent to do it. It's with that group though, at the age of that group, can you keep them engaged? Like when I see them trying to get Marner the point streak, this team like working hard. And when they're all pulling in the same direction, they're very tough to beat. And the energy on that bench is good. And it's okay, let's go. Let's get another one. Let's go. Let's keep working to try and get this one in. And they're pushing really tough. It's just when they get pushed back on, sometimes they can't handle it. That's what we've seen in the playoffs. So I'm getting really excited. I really am. I'd like to see now this group deal with some adversity and see how they handle that.
If they win the Stanley Cup, I will stand and applaud the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have nothing against the Leafs. I goof on them because they're your team and they're Clark's team, and they're easy to goof on. But you look at them now, and it's like, man, they're going after it. They're playing hard. Where's my thing? John says, politics and sports don't mix too well. I will have my sports straight up, please. I'm with you. Yes. I learned it in the pandemic. And by the way, Wayne in Victoria, BC watching says, that's a good idea, Rod. The less politics we talk about on the RP show, the better. Hello. I was dabbling down the road during the COVID because there was no sports going on, and I got a show to do, and I got a commentary to run on radio stations. I got to get something out there. So I was starting to give my thoughts on COVID and vaccines, and remember that? And I'm like, I got a thick skin, but when I started to lose followers and our ratings were going down, I'm like, nope, not for me. Not doing that. So we'll stick to sports instead of politics and I don't know how the other guys were allowed to do it, but good for them. Back on point. Back on Braden Point. By the way, I want to do something fun tonight. I don't know if Serena will agree or not. I'd like to go to the movie Violent Night. Seriously, yeah. It's in theaters now. Go to a movie this weekend. Do something fun for the love of Pete. Landmark Cinemas. When a team of mercenaries breaks into a wealthy family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone inside hostage, the team isn't prepared for a surprise combatant, Santa Claus, played by David Harbour. He's on the grounds, and he's about to show why this Nick is no saint. Playing right now at Landmark Cinemas. I can't. I'm in a glass case of emotion wondering how this is going to turn out. It's called Violent Night. And Santa's no more Mr. Nice Guy. So you think you might go to it?
Yeah, I think we're going to go tonight. You mentioned it. I'm like trying to think of what's going to happen tonight, and that's going to be it. What's wild is, remember John Leguizamo? He's kind of funny.
No.
You see, if you look him up, John Leguizamo, you'll know who it is. I guarantee you'll be like, that guy, he's in it. And in the previews, he's one of the bad guys trying to rob the house or whatever he's trying to do. So I think it's going to be part comedy. I think it's going to be fun, a little intense. Looking forward to it.
Violent Night. Sounds ridiculous. So much so that you got to go. But I don't know that I can convince her. We'll see. The Canadian Football League, because it is a Football Friday. The Ottawa Red Blacks have signed kicker Lewis Ward to a 2-year contract. The 30-year-old has been with the Red Blacks since signing with the CFL team before the 2018 season after going undrafted. In an only in the CFL moment, and our next guest, Joey Alfieri, might be able to corroborate this. I think this is true. He was once a security guard in the stadium, correct? He was a security guard at TD Place, I think when he was playing university football, ends up playing for the team. And that's, Vince Papale was somewhat similar to that, Philadelphia Eagles fame. You've watched the movie Invincible. But Lewis Ward's is a great story. He was named the league's outstanding rookie in 2018, setting a CFL single-season record. with a field goal percentage of 98.1%. And he set a pro football record with 69 consecutive field goals. We all know this, but I'm just reminding you. And Lewis Ward has signed a 2-year deal. I think he's from Ottawa. He didn't want to play anywhere else. One of the all-time great CFL stories, and that's what makes the CFL. That's one of the things that makes the CFL so great. Agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. It is what makes it great. The stories of these guys, and he's one of the good stories in the Canadian Football League. So love seeing him re-sign. Love having Lewis Ward as part of the Canadian Football League.
Most, we will be playing Deal or No Deal a little later on. Quickly, the poll. Who are the teams for the Jersey poll? Real quick, retro reverse poll question today for Capital Ottawa Universal Collision Center. The two teams
I think Jordan pulled it up. I'm pretty sure it's Carolina and Buffalo today.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Now, look, we're throwing this at him just before the commercial break. Carolina and Buffalo are our two teams. Nice work, Jordan. I'm sorry I got to go to the Sabres. I just do. As I look at that,
yeah.
I think the other stuff is just too plain. Vegas did that. Obviously, Carolina's done that. It's too plain, dude. I'm voting for the Sabres, but that's not to say I'm right. I'm batting about 50-50 for what I think we should win and what will win. We're in round one of our Jersey bracket. We're voting every day for Capital Ottawa Universal Collision Center. We will be right back. It's a Football Friday on the RP Show, Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and on the radio, Metro Atlanta, WQEE, The Key, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorkSafeSask.ca.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Hey Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersenshop.com.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Don't mind me. We're all pulling it together here. Producer Clark is not available, so I'm tweeting the poll right now. Whose retro reverse jersey is better? The Buffalo Sabres or the Carolina Hurricanes? Go vote now. And don't mind me. There you go. There's a look at the jerseys. For me, it's Buffalo in a romp. It ain't even close. They wouldn't win a playoff series between the two, but they got the jersey hands down. Joey Alfieri, formerly of TSN 690 Montreal, now with Les Alouettes from the front office, joining us today. Hey, Joey, how you doing, my man? Always good to see you.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm great. I'm absolutely fantastic. We got the poll question there. I have an informal viewer question today, an audience question. It's when and where was your first NFL game? Do you remember yours, Joey?
Yeah, believe it or not, it wasn't too long ago. My first NFL game was in Cleveland, and I saw a stinker. I saw. So it was a full transparency. My brother and my cousin threw me a bachelor party with a lot of my friends. Got married almost 5 years ago now. And we did Ohio State, Maryland, and Columbus on the Saturday. And then we did the Browns and Jets on the Sunday. So that was my first NFL game. I've been to a couple since, but that was a really memorable football weekend. We were like 106,000 people at the Ohio State game on the Saturday. That was wild, too.
Yeah, well, so Ohio knows their football, which, by the way, we air daily in Ohio across the whole state on Buckeye Cable. They all carry Game Plus television. Actually, it's in our top 10 states for viewership. So would you suggest going to a college game instead of NFL? You would obviously say CFL, but if you're going to the States, what are you picking, college or NFL?
I guess I'll go NFL, I guess, but that experience, I mean, you can't go wrong either way. And I just want to say, I know that it does get cold in Ohio, like it does in most of the rest of Canada. I loved Ohio. I love Cleveland. I love Columbus. I've had some of the best barbecue I've ever had was at a restaurant in Cleveland. I think anybody who slams Ohio probably hasn't been. I love Ohio, and I'm not just talking it up because they pick up the show in Ohio. I really loved the time that we spent there, and I'd like to go back.
I love Ohio. I was there for the NHL draft in 2007, and it was amazing. Columbus, Ohio, specifically. So, Joey, obviously you're with Les Alouettes, and interesting times. Looking for a head coach. Obviously, they've got some shortlist candidates there. Tough one, isn't it, man? This was your first full year, if I'm not mistaken, working on the team side. So what did you learn in that role? Let's talk about you for a second and maybe what you didn't expect.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like I've been asked that question a lot, and I think I started in February, so I'm coming up on a year soon. The thing I learned the most is just I didn't realize how tight the entire operation is, and specifically, I mean, like I wasn't expecting to work with and make all these relationships with people in ticketing, for example, or even on the football side. You do get to bump into people and you do get to talk to people, and it's not even so much about the job, but it was just getting to know that. And before I worked for the football team, I didn't think. I thought you'd stick in your department and you'd hang out with the people in your department, but maybe it's just an Alouettes thing. I don't know. I have nothing to compare it to. But I'm really impressed by the way, the behind the scenes, the way everyone kind of works together and pulls, this thing together and makes an 18-game season plus preseason plus postseason work. I mean, it was eye-opening to see what went down behind the scenes this year. It was really, really cool.
The winning teams and the good organizations do exactly that. And clearly you guys are that because you hosted a playoff game. And this is a chat we could have for hours, but there was a coaching change, and Kahari Jones is a fine guy. I don't need to ask you if you like him because anybody who knows him likes him. I mean, that's the other side of it, man. Obviously, you don't regret taking that job, Joey, but that's the tough side of doing that. In the media, people have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, like absolutely, no regrets taking the job. I'm living out a dream. I've been going to Alouettes games and CFL games since I was a kid, single digits. But I really like Hari. I have a lot of respect for what he does, and I think that he did it at a really high level. And he was definitely part of the turnaround. People forget the Alouettes have it's been going well on the field here the last few years and the last couple of seasons, but before 2019, it was bleak, and he was definitely a part of that. And I feel like he took it a certain distance. And now it's going to be up to someone else to take it the rest of the way. But you know what, Roddy? There was a couple weeks, I'm not going to lie to you, there's a couple weeks this year where it was heavy. The week after the coaching change, it was heavy because of you never want to see people get fired, but you believe that things are going to turn around, and they did. And then, losing, I'm not going to lie, losing the East Final in Toronto and coming back to the office that following week and the next day on the Monday, that was tough too. I'm a really competitive guy, even though I have nothing to do with the end result. I've always been competitive, and so to get knocked out by the Argos when you're so close, one possession game to go to the Grey Cup, that was tough too. But it's just, I feel like looking back on it now that I've had some time to think. I feel like when you get to go through those moments, again, with those people behind the scenes, you come out closer and tougher and more resilient. So I'm really hoping that carries into 2023.
Well, you're either going one of two directions. You're getting worse or you're getting better, and you guys are clearly going the right direction. I mean, you would have to agree with that. I'm sure that you do. Let me ask you this. We got a couple of minutes left. Gary Stern. I get a real kick out of that guy. We had him on the air here today, and I don't even know what you can say. Like, is he in? Is he out? I don't know. He just seems like a really interesting cat.
Yeah, I mean, just he's always treated me well, respectfully. I'm not the right person to ask, Roddy. Honestly, like I don't deal with ownership on a daily basis, so I really don't know what's going on in that sense. I guess Gary and Mario would be able to answer those questions better.
Yeah, and I apologize for the grenade. It just popped into my mind. And for our U.S. viewers, this is one of the owners of the Alouettes, Gary Stern, who just says the wildest things. He just seems like the nicest guy. And I'm like, dude, do you know what you're saying? None of it's bad. But I'm like, owners don't talk like this. He just seems like a normal guy that happens to own a football team. So that's all I got to say. So what's up for Christmas in the Alfieri household, Joey?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly family time where we like everybody else, we run around a little bit. Wife works hard throughout the year. Family works hard. So it'll just be one of those. We'll probably, it's funny, Roddy, like we sit around the table as a family at Christmas and we talk football. Like, to me, it's not a job. I love going to work every day. I've got the smile ear to ear. And I grew up, part of the reason I'm so passionate about football. Obviously, my dad brought us to games. We've had season tickets in the family for a long time. My younger brother, who's just a handful of years younger than me, always has an opinion. We seem to differ on opinions, whether it's the CFL, the NFL, or NCAA football. So the discussions kind of get heated at times. The wives, the moms have to get in the way and break it up sometimes, but it's all in good fun. So that's kind of what's going on. It's a lot of family time and probably a lot of football talk.
Good for you. Good to hear. And next time we chat, I will task you with this in 2023, making our good mutual friend, Chris Knuckles Nyland, a CFL fan. It's going to take a while, but we got to get this done. Joey, Joyeux Noel. Hey, my friend. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, buddy.
Joey Alfieri from the Montreal Alouettes. Viewer takeover coming up next in a sports update. It's a Football Friday here on the RP Show on Game Plus TV, available all across Quebec on Videotron, Eastlink, Rogers Cable. If you don't get it, call your cable provider. And, of course, on YouTube Live and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Take Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might fracture your wrist, resulting in a lifetime of painful arthritis. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Hacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rob.
Here we go. It is Football Friday, of course, and we're taking your questions and loving it. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us right in the studio. Some folks have done that, and I got a sports update coming up here, too. It's been a secondary poll question, if you will. Not even a poll question, a fun question today. And that is, what was your first NFL game that you've attended in person? And interestingly enough, Sharon in Calgary writes in. She's watching on Game Plus TV. And she says, Sharon and Todd, Burling from Calgary here. First NFL game, November 6th, 2022, in Phoenix to see the Arizona Cardinals. And yes, we wore our Rider jerseys. This is probably too much to even ask Jordan to do, but she sent her photo. If Clark was here, we could pull it up. But you sent me those photos, Sharon, at the time. So it was just over a month ago that she was there at an NFL game in Glendale. So how did this come about? I saw a friend of mine, Dean Bear, putting on Twitter that he and his kid think they were Saskatoon or Regina Airport heading to L.A. for their first NFL game. He was taking his son to watch the Dolphins, his favorite team. How exciting is that? See, a lot of people make an NFL trip. Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in and says, hey, Rod, I've watched several other sports talk shows, and the reason you're the best is because of your interactions with the viewers on the text line as well as on the YouTube chat. I always come back to the RP show. Well, I was talking to Kevin the Medium the other day. He convinced his brother to check this show out, and now he's hooked. And his brother, where is he at, Kevin? He said, got to be in Alberta somewhere. He said, this show's addicting. Okay. Jordan has just said he got the photo. How about this kid? Jordan is the rock star of the day. There's Todd and Sharon at the Cardinals game wearing Rider jerseys, and I'm sure they had a lot of comments. What a beautiful stadium that is, by the way, State Farm. One of my favorites in the National Football League, although can I tell you this? I got a bit of a big mouth, and sometimes I put my foot in it. And I was at that stadium. I was sitting in an owner's suite. That's all I'll say, okay? It was the Cardinals against the Eagles. Thanks, Jordan. I appreciate that. And the owner turned to me. I believe he had a cigar in his mouth, but it wasn't lit. And he goes, "What do you think of our stadium here?" And I said, "It's all right. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Our old stadium's like this." He didn't like it. It looked like he just swallowed a liter of sour milk. Sometimes honesty is not the best policy. Sports update. The soaring Winnipeg Jets are in Chicago to take on the Blackhawks in NHL play tonight. Winnipeg coming off a 5-2 win at St. Louis last night. That gave the Central Division leaders their 6th win in 7 games. Meanwhile, the Calgary Flames go for a 4th win in a row when they visit the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's the start of a 3-game road trip for the Flames. And of course, didn't even say here, but that's the first time they'll face Johnny Hockey. The question is, how big of a beatdown do the Flames give the Blue Jackets tonight? How much do the Flames win by tonight? Also, the Edmonton Oilers look to build on an 8-2 win over Arizona when they welcome the Minnesota Wild. As I said, the Oilers had a nice practice the other night playing against Arizona. The Toronto Raptors are in Orlando tonight for the first of 2 road games against the Magic. Toronto continues its up and down season following a 126-113 win over the undermanned Los Angeles Lakers on Wednesday. But forget about the Raptors. The Atlanta Hawks, here come the Hawks, are at Brooklyn tonight. Come on, Hawks, you're making me look bad. Oh, we're inside 30 seconds. Brittany Griner has returned to the United States nearly 10 months after her detention in Russia sent off a political firestorm. Her status as an openly gay black woman in prison in a country where authorities have been hostile to the LGBTQ community brought tremendous attention to her case. Moscow's invasion of Ukraine after her arrest complicated matters further. That's about all I want to say on that. See you after this brief pause on Game Plus and WQEE after this.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of fun. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might fracture your wrist, resulting in a lifetime of painful arthritis. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
I just want to ask you about Ottawa, because from the moment you arrived, it just seems like the perfect fit. Has it gone as well as it looks from the outside for you personally?
Made it a family decision. I had 3 or 4 different offers on places to go. Ottawa was where they wanted to be, and it's worked out well. It's been a really good fit for both me and my family when they're there.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Oh, are you like me? Are you ready for the weekend? Woohoo! It's here. Football Friday on your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show. Coming your way on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live, and WQEE, your southern home of sports and talk. 99.1 FM in Metro Atlanta, noon in Georgia. Let's bring in the Moose, Darren Moose DuPont, and I'm not sick of people. I've had those moments. That's not the moment I'm having. But okay. I'm sick of certain things. Do you know what I mean? Like the Brittany Griner story. It is what it is. I'm not touching it. People are trying to suck us into talking about it on the show today. And I'm like, nope. It's Football Friday for a reason. We want to have fun. And I don't know, there's some weird things going on with the Washington Commanders and Dan Snyder. I've got information being sent to me, and I'm like, I don't want to get into that either. Just want to have fun. And before we go any further, Moose, and I really feel like turning this over to the viewers here for whatever they want to talk about football related. You and I can handle that. The poll question today, we were late posting it, but it's out now. It is day 9 of our jersey bracket, our NHL retro reverse jersey bracket, and this is the biggest stomping yet. Jordan's got the photo. Buffalo Sabres retro reverse versus the Carolina. Have you seen it? Versus the results versus the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Sabres on Twitter. I can't speak for YouTube, but on Twitter, 86% voting for Buffalo. Jordan just told me in my ear, 91% for the Buffalo Sabres. 91% for the Sabres. They like that old logo. They like the colors. That's to the point, Moose, that they might actually go to that as their regular jersey the rest of the way. This is the biggest stomping yet.
Why not? And it was interesting. So when I'm putting the poll together and the bracket, I'm thinking of a few different things. That Buffalo one I have as a front runner. It's a front runner up there with Florida, the Kings, the Sharks. There's a few that are front runners. And so I didn't necessarily want to put 2 heavyweights in the first round against each other. So I pick and choose some rivalries, some like this. I kind of thought this would be one that would be kind of a molly-whopping. So I thought that was, and it is. And the other thing, when you came on and you were looking at your phone, I thought you saw the social media post I just put up in the last segment. I was going back. It was an old one that I had saved. It was you talking about Delia, the goalie for Vancouver. And I turned it into a TikTok. It's on our Instagram. And I have the Simon and Garfunkel song is in the video. Down on my
I'm down
knees.
on
So-
my knees. I'm
Yeah.
begging you, please make a save. I added to it, by the way. Oh,
It's good.
Delia. Yeah. Okay. I did say that we would turn this over to the viewers, and we'll do that at our own peril. But John, and I need a little of that. I do. John Ohm says this is the best sports talk show, period. Well, I happen to agree. Tell your friends, John. There it is. I appreciate you. The best sports talk show. We get into stuff. It ain't like anything else. That's one thing they tell you, Darren, right, in the startup business and industry. Have your own thing. Be unique. Yeah. Don't be afraid to stray away from the pack. I literally asked somebody the other day, can I join your club? He goes, you got your own club, and it looks like it's going fine. That's a really good point. Yeah, we're good. Well, we're good. Sorry I asked. We'll stay over it. Sports talk with a twist, as our friend Kevin the Medium says. And we have a secondary poll question today, and that is, what is your first ever NFL game live attended? Mine was 1995, New York Jets at the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams were terrible. Terrible. It was in the Kingdome in Seattle, but it was, ooh. The NFL, even then, and to this day, it's even more so that. And for Moose, it was the Jets and the Tennessee Titans, and we were there together at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, December 2018. Dawn, our Navy friend, says, do you guys and gals think that the CFL on CBC will ever make a comeback? My answer to that is, if you're asking me and putting a gun to my head here right now today, I would say no. But as Gary Echeverry is fond of saying, our football coach friend, never's a long time. And if I had glasses, I'd put them half on my nose too, the way Echeverry, never's a long time. So never say never, but it's not, it didn't look like they want them. And the contract, and I'm sick of talking about it, to be quite honest. I'm really sick of talking about that. But the TSN contract in the CFL goes through 2026. So why would we even talk about it right now? Nobody wants that but you, Don, and me. But who the hell are we? How would you answer that, Darren?
Yeah, I'm more of a, I don't know, think long-term, patience, blah, 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 blah. I would say, yeah. I'd say if you're asking me, I'd say at some point. But as you said, never's a long time. So I'm not saying it's going to happen in the next decade. But yeah, I don't think it's going to stay the same forever. We're not going to sit here with games just on TSN till the end of time. TV deals and the landscape changes every decade.
Yeah. From my cousin Christine in Medicine Hat, she says, Cardinals versus Cowboys. I was at that game. Saw Chris there. It was in December 2011. Greatest 10-day stretch of my life until recently. But it was the 2011 Grey Cup, Blue Bombers, BC Lions, and then went straight to Phoenix to host my sports trip there. Woo, doggy. Cole McCarvey, watching in BC, says, hey, Rod, you know I love me some Nathan Rourke. With all these workouts going on, where do you think he would be his best fit? Personally, I'd love to see him get a shot with the Vikings, Niners, or Seahawks. Great question, Cole. Appreciate you. And to be honest, I got a friend at Sportsnet that said, if you're going to talk about the CFL, because doing so would hinder you in the major markets, Nathan Rourke's what you got to talk about. And he mentioned 3 of the cities. Well, he worked out, I got it written down here. He worked out for the Colts, the Vikings, the Raiders, and I'm missing one. But I think his best bet would be the Las Vegas Raiders, because Derek Carr, of all the teams, he's the suckiest starting quarterback. And now he's one of the top 5 highest paid in the NFL, but that means he's going to be on the field the most. But Kirk Cousins, I don't think is going anywhere. The 49ers have too many injured quarterbacks, but eventually they're going to get them all back. And I just think Nathan Rourke would be in a long list there behind Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, and now Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. And in Seattle, they're probably looking, I don't think Geno Smith is the long-term answer there. So it probably is Seattle, but I don't think they've worked him out. So of the 4 teams that have, I would say it's the Raiders. How would you answer that, Moose?
Yeah, I think that I go along with it. I think the Raiders is probably it. Again, it's hard to tell at this moment. I like what Geno Smith has done in Seattle.
Yeah,
really
how can
do.
you argue? How can you argue with it?
How can you argue? And I think you got to bring him back next year. And, he's got to, at least get another opportunity to continue to build off of this. But you can't put all your chips into the Geno Smith pool right now. One good year. He's been a career kind of backup and underperformer. But maybe he's the guy. But yeah, I'll go with the Raiders too. I'll back you on that.
We got some great stuff coming in. Jeff Gordon. See, if you're a football fan, tell all your friends. That's when Rod and Darren talk about it. Fridays, year-round. Let's get it all out now. Jeff Gordon says the Vikings didn't even take Bo Levi. They have a set quarterback. Well, 2 things on that. Number 1, that decision seems to be paying off with Kirk Cousins. And 2, Bo Levi could have stayed with the Minnesota Vikings, but he didn't like the contract, and he wanted a shot to start, and they told him, you'll never start because we got our guy. If I'm to be believed on that, or if my story's correct, which I believe that it is, and Bo Levi said, well, why would I come here if I don't even have a shot to start? I think that's why Bo Levi and I not get along, because we don't, but why we're too similar. It reminds me, I'll tell you a story. 2009 Grey Cup. The Riders and the Alouettes were in it, and a radio station in Calgary called me, and they said, congratulations, Rod. You get to call the Grey Cup. That's the good news. The bad news is you only get to call 1 half. And I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Why would I only call a half? If I can't call the whole game, I don't want to call any of the game. And the guy's name was John Voss. Go ahead and tell him. This isn't that bad of a story. But he goes, well, you got to call 1 half, and the Alouettes guy, Rick Moffat's got to call the other half. So he said, which half do you want? And I said, well, again, I don't want to do a half. If I can't do the whole game, I don't want to do any game of the game. Would you tell the ref that? You wouldn't. It's the dumbest thing ever. And then I, went on the West Coast trip with the Pats, landed up in Calgary for the game. And I said I want the second half, of course. And if I got to pick one, I'll say the second half. And he goes, you got the first half, which is what I called of the 2009 13th man. Because I was a jerk to him. It's 1:11 Eastern, by the way. Woo-sa. Visualize a positive outcome. Calm me right down there. Free of charge relaxation tips from RP. So many people have said to me, how did you call the 13th man? 2009, when the Rough Riders had the game won, but lost it because they had too many men on the field on the last play of the game. I said I wasn't calling it, and here's why. So this is like Bo. If I can't come in and start at quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, what are you signing me for? Why would I even go? Is it not the same thing? I see it as the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same idea. What's the point? I'm not just here for a participation ribbon. I want to call the damn game. I want to call a championship. I play a half, you play a half. What is this? A developmental game? Or is it the Grey Cup? Let's go.
It's a freaking Grey Cup. Getting worked up again. Which, incidentally, nothing against John Voss. They were doing this. It wasn't new. They'd done it before. And I said, that's fine. I just don't want to be part of it. Arlen Bruce III writes in and says, here is some great information for you and the viewers. I'm currently looking for investors to reopen a Wild Wing franchise in Edmonton. 101st. 101 different wings to choose from. $60,000 to $80,000. Thanks, AB. I owned a restaurant. It wasn't a sports restaurant. It was a high-end pizzeria. Do you remember what I told you, Darren? If I ever mentioned to you that I want to invest in a restaurant again, punch me right in the face. But that's just me. Maybe somebody else wants to.
When's the last time you had a yoga class?
Oh, it's been a while.
I think you did.
But I did work out this morning.
Oh, good.
Kevin the medium says, Kevin the irrational fan here says Rourke needs one more year in BC. Darn it. And well, we want the best for everybody. Don't we? Don't we want the best for everybody? I want Nathan Rourke to go to the NFL and light it up. Jeff Camillus in Winnipeg says, LOL, Rod. Ed, what are you laughing at? Which part of this are you laughing at? I just hope you're entertained by it all. I did have written down, we talked about Lewis Ward signing a extension with the Ottawa Red Blacks, the record-setting CFL kicker, and good for him. Great story. Used to be a security guard in the stadium. Ended up setting a pro football record with, what did I say, 62 straight field goals. With the expansion thing with the CFL, which I'm more of a reality guy than a fantasy guy. Believe me, I don't really like talking about it. But fans do. They sure like to talk about it. So with the Saskatoon thing, we could spend days. When I say the Saskatoon thing, I brought up that if I was commissioner for a day, I would immediately grant 11 franchises to bring the total number of teams in the league to 20, and I'd give a team to Saskatoon. And you probably didn't see what the social media firestorm is on that, but people are coming to me saying that's the dumbest idea ever. There's 0% chance it would work. And that's why I need a weekend. I need it. Because I'm like, I'm just sitting here talking about the CFL, which is what the CFL needs. And both people inside and outside the CFL are coming at me with sticks and stones and arrows and fire. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I even talking about it then? But do you think Saskatoon would work?
In a different model, yeah. Not in the current CFL model. I don't think it works. I don't think the expansion works today. But I think if you rework the whole model of the league, yeah, I think there's a chance. And, you know, you're bringing this stuff up and having the conversation so people will come at you and have that heated argument.
Yeah.
And we can be passionate about this league, you know, on social media and in day-to-day conversation. You know, things that don't work. I mean, when you start splitting up the TV money amongst more markets, that becomes tough. The finances has to be a little bit better. I don't know if it's going to turn into a reduction in player salaries or not, but you're going to have more players, hopefully more money flowing through the league, more fan interest. There's a lot of positives. It would come with its negatives for sure, but I love the idea of like, at least we're open-minded to trying new things and the ideas. It may not be the right ideas. It may not work, but at least we're doing something. And that's the idea behind this. Let's try it. Let's explore new things for the league.
I'm not done talking about this, but we do have to break. I promised that we would turn it over to the viewers, and that's what we're doing at our own peril. And we'll continue to do that. Justin Dunk coming up as well. I just want to say Joe Lazito has checked in. Live viewer. He says, good afternoon, boys. Checking in from Carnegie Hall in New York City. Happy Friday, everyone. New York City, the 10th highest city for viewership of the RP show, and it's because of guys like Joe Lazito. So thank you, Joe. We'll be back. We are live on Game Plus Television, live streaming on YouTube as always, and on WQEE, The Key, 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Your event online, Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, and let's do it. Let's get it. It is a Football Friday. We got Justin Dunk coming up from 3downnation.com. There has been a lot of comings and goings in the Canadian Football League this week, even though it is the offseason. We'll get to those with JD. I apologize because, again, I go to a commercial break and I get sucked into the comments, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing other than that. Let's bring in the Moose right now. Darren Moose DuPont. I'll remind the viewers, because we haven't talked about this for a bit, the question today, not the poll, but the secondary question that hooks you in, part of why we're so addicting. Write us, 902-518-3033. What was your first NFL game attended, please? It just got me to thinking about it today when my buddy Dean Bear posted a photo that he was taking his boy from Saskatchewan to L.A. to watch his favorite team, the Miami Dolphins, play this Sunday night. Very big talk here, Darren. As you can imagine, the Dolphins charging for the AFC title. So we got texts have come in. Jeff Caldwell's watching in Redmond, Oregon. He says, my first game was in the Kingdom in the 70s. Wish I had a better memory for the details. Shoot. Mine was in the 90s in Seattle, and I barely remember it, brother. Glenn Brunette writes it from Medicine Hat. He says, first NFL game, we took a high school football team from Medicine Hat to play games in Providence, Rhode Island in 2006-ish. While there, we took in a Washington Redskins game, ushered players into the stadium, then coaches headed back and checked out the tailgate. That's a lot of fun. What did you enjoy more, the game or the tailgating, Darren? I guess it's all part of it, but that is next level in the National Football League.
Well, it is. It's all the build-up. It's all the fun, being able to go around. And, I left everybody, the group, and I went for a big walk around the tailgate because, I'm more interested than probably most in Nashville to go and just experience everything. I didn't want to miss out on anything. So hit the team store, hit all the tailgates, meet people, and they all welcomed me in and played the games, ate the food, drank the beer. That was really awesome. So I did enjoy that because it was like walking through Disneyland for me. And then the game was great. Honestly, I think Thursday night I liked a little bit better because they had the TV studio, the outside TV set there for Thursday Night Football. and then it was
That
under
was
the
cool.
lights. It was really cool. So it was all of it. It's a big spectacle, and then the game was fantastic.
Todd in Red Deer writes in and says, you really told a billionaire owner his new stadium is like the one Jerry Jones tore down? LMAO. Not exactly. I said I was with an owner, but I didn't say it was the owner of the Cardinals, Arthur Bidwell. It wasn't Arthur Bidwell. It was an owner of a team, a billionaire, but it wasn't the owner of the Cardinals. That's all I'll say. But he, that's never free. What do you think of the stadium here? I'm like, it's all right. It's like our old one in Dallas. Oh, man, was he mad. He was madder than a wet hen. I'm slow to catch up, but I'm catching up. I'm making up for lost time. Joe Lazito writes in, he says, my first NFL game was a hideous 6-3 Patriots win over the New York Jets in absolute monsoon conditions. You want to know why I'm sitting in South Florida right now? It was 26-17 around New Year's, and I got a tour of MetLife Stadium in New Jersey on the day before the game. I didn't go to the game. I think it was going to be the Bucs at the Jets. It was Todd Bowles' last game with the Jets. I'm like, I don't want to go to this game. It's meaningless, but I want to tour the stadium. And I was taking photos. I was standing on a pile of something, getting photos of the stadium, and my hands froze. I'm like, I'm never spending money to spend vacation time where I could get frostbite. Screw this. Haven't been back to New York since? I think I have. I went back to get my intervention training there, but it was in the summer. And by the way, when I say catching up fast, cool story that everybody missed that isn't, well, not everybody, but a lot of people that weren't watching in hour one. If you go to our Instagram story right now or Facebook, The Rod Pedersen Show, you'll see video from the Panthers game last night from Ice Level where I was videoing Ryan Lomberg, the Lamborghini, up against the glass, banging on the glass, and his wife was holding his little baby. It was the cutest thing. And today, Ryan Lomberg DMs us and says, yeah, can I get a copy of that video? My wife wants it. Of the Florida Panthers. So things are changing, boys. Wow.
Yes.
BW writes in, he says, I'm just waiting for the CAF, the CALF. That's the Canadian Arena League Football. He said this will be a great place to try ideas that could be used in the CFL locations. Keep waiting, bro. But don't hold your breath, because you'll die. And I don't feel like this either. Talking about that, we're venturing. That's why I said I need the weekend. I need the weekend to recharge, to come back. Because I told the story of my dad and Doug Sauter. Some people are talkers, some people are doers. And there's a hell of a lot more talkers in the world. I'm tired of talking about stuff that's never going to happen. And the only reason I brought up Saskatoon as a potential expansion site for the CFL is, again, there's some billionaire guys that have told me, can you put it out there that there's some people that would like to do this? I'm like, I'll put it out there, but even I don't believe that's ever going to happen. But you know, we got all these viewers in Eastern Canada, and maybe our listeners down in Georgia could tell me. But why don't you guys answer the bell? What was your first NFL game down there in Atlanta? 902-518-3033. But in, you know, Ottawa, have you been to Ottawa, Darren? I apologize. Have we been there together? I can't remember.
I haven't. No.
Okay. But you're getting there. You will. I've been there many times. I really, really, really love Ottawa. Who doesn't? Well, I love the city. Not necessarily what goes on there. But before the Senators came around, let's say it was 1992, that city was split into Leafs fans and Habs fans. And when the Sens came, and let's say 92, maybe 93, it was a split a third way. Senators fans, Leafs fans, Habs fans. Because when you grow up, and studies show it, it's not just about sports teams. And my friends that work with beer companies say, like 95% of beer drinkers know the beer they'll drink for the rest of their life before they're 19. You make all these choices as a kid. It's very hard to change when they become an adult. But that's not to say that fans, and again to the U.S. viewers, if you imagine Saskatchewan as a very large rectangle, there's one pro football team there. But there's another city in this state, province, that's even bigger. It's called Saskatoon, and they don't have a pro football team. And honestly, if they could get one, I think they would want one. Why wouldn't they? Do you like driving 2 hours to every game? I know a lot of people do, but if you could go 20 minutes, I could see why people in Saskatoon would want it.
Yeah, absolutely. I could too. The thing to remember, and I have this conversation with different people all the time, and actually was brought up in my trip to Toronto, talking to an executive. You have to consider. I mean, we're a big country landmass. We're a big country, period. But we're not that big. When you think about Canada, you can compare us to California. Okay, compare us to California. Our GDP is the same. Population's about the same. We are the state of California with not quite as nice weather, right? But we're California. So think about what we can support, from a professional football league to a professional soccer league in the CPL to now a professional women's soccer league that's coming in a couple of years, to representatives in the NBA and the Major League Baseball and MLS. And now we want to do an indoor football league, the CAF. And you want to, you know what I mean? It starts to fragment one state, right? How much can one state support? And college football, university football. We want to have a national championship with multiple conferences. It's a lot for 33 million people to support financially. There's so many dollars to go around. And while as a country, we want to have all the same things that the U.S. has as a country, financially and population-wise, and for support, we have to consider us more like a state as opposed to a country, because we just can't support everything.
Fair. But as long as Jonathan Huberdeau makes more money than the entire Calgary Stampeders football team, something got to change. We can support more teams. We can support more money. They just, for whatever reason, don't want to. Might as well say it now. We're out of the box today on a Football Friday, and we are Canada's daytime sports talk show, but our numbers show a lot of viewership in Western Canada. NHL tonight, Islanders at the New Jersey Devils. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Classic Adams division matchup there? No, it's not. That's crisscrossing the Patrick and the Adams. Never mind, I'm just talking to myself. Calgary Flames at Columbus as the Flames meet Columbus for the first time with Johnny G and beat Columbus for the first time with Johnny Gaudreau. Seattle at Washington, the Winnipeg Jets at Chicago. How bad's this one going to get tonight? Even though the Jets won 5-2 just last night at St. Louis, this is going to be a drubbing. It's going to get ugly. Minnesota at Edmonton, Rangers at Colorado. The Bruins are at Arizona as the Coyotes are back in Mullet Arena. San Jose at Anaheim and Philadelphia at Vegas. NBA, we mentioned the Atlanta Hawks are at Brooklyn. Raps at Orlando. The reason I'm going through this preamble here is it's week 2 of the National Lacrosse League. And obviously I love my Saskatchewan Rush, former season ticket holder here. They're playing tonight, but it's not the featured game. TSN has it, ESPN Plus. It's Las Vegas Desert Dogs at Panther City tonight. That is Fort Worth, Texas. Later on, Sask is at San Diego, which is pretty darn cool. I really love the NLL. And there are only 2 other games this week. It's Saturday, Toronto at Rochester and Vancouver at Calgary. My Georgia Swarm. Hashtag buzzing. They're off this week. So we were tweeting back and forth with each other. See how this show could be very valuable to sports leagues with our reach? Duluth, Georgia being a suburb of Atlanta. Think about it. But the Swarm are off, so I'm okay to not worry about how they fare. But we'll see how the Rush do tonight at the Seals. Moose, we'll see you back here for OT. What do you say?
You bet. I'll see you then.
I'm just glad Ted and Red Deer write in, since I have no idea how you guys come up with topics every day, week in, week out. Great work, RP show. Leave that to me. That reminds me, when things didn't become all that fun with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and I don't know if Dunk's logged in now with this or not, but we had that quarterback. He is, okay, well, I'll make this real quick in 60 seconds or less. The team really wanted to control what I talked about on the radio every day. Believe it or not. And I said, give me something. I said, I got 2.5 hours to fill here, and you don't want me to say anything. And they said, well, Tino Sinceri was moved up from third string to second string in practice, will be tomorrow for day one. This was on a Monday. This was like our third string quarterback, Tino Sinceri, Pittsburgh fame. And I said, I'll talk about that for 2.5 hours. They said, you can do that? People would want to talk about that, would listen to you talk about that for 2.5 hours? I said, leave that to me. And we did. But it just got... Justin Dunk next. It's a Football Friday on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your back in a way that causes nerve damage or partial loss of mobility. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might injure your knee, leading to joint damage or even a permanent disability. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's life.
Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a Football Friday for many of you, your favorite day of the week. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here in the studio. We've got more messages coming in from the audience. What was your first NFL game? And we're going to Talk some CFL and what other football comes up with Canada's foremost CFL insider, Canada's Adam Schefter. Justin Dunk joining us from 3downnation.com. And JD, thanks for sitting through the break. Can you take a stab at that? Do you remember your first NFL game attended? What do you got?
Oh, buddy, if I remember correctly, it was a long time ago. It was Broncos-Bills on a Saturday night in snowy Buffalo. And I remember there were fans in the upper deck where I was sitting, and I was just a young kid at the time, throwing snowballs at the fans below. It was Bills versus Broncos fans. And going out after the game was over, Jake Plummer, I believe, beat the Bills on that night. There was a big fight in the concession stand area. And I was kind of scared to go back there a little bit because those Bills fans are passionate, and the guys weren't going to let the other guys who were throwing snowballs from the upper deck get away with it. So that was my first memory. Thank my good buddy Brad Garlow at the time in grade school and his dad for taking me out to that first Bills game.
Funny the things that you remember, right, Justin? I hear some wacko, wild things about Buffalo and the Bills fans and the snow. I've only been there in the summer. We're good. Justin, we're 2 weeks out of the Grey Cup, and I got to applaud the CFL. There's been a lot of pretty good news out there. Bobby Dice taking over as head coach in Ottawa. Mike O'Shea staying with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers as the head coach. There's some assistant coach moving around. It keeps guys like you and me in business. It's been a pretty good week for the CFL.
There's always something on the go, Roddy, as you know, and you know how that insider game is played as well. So you're trying to stay up on the latest. As you mentioned, it's really that season of coaching change and teams getting their front offices set so that they can get to work on what's next for them in terms of talent acquisition in the offseason. We've seen a bunch of players re-signing as well, and then these guys will get out on the road and scout and try to sign some negotiation list guys and continue trying to re-sign some of their own. But I think the major storyline now that the Red Blacks have a head coach shifts to Montreal and whether or not they actually decide to hire a head coach. And it seems like that's the way it's going to go. But I would argue the actual biggest and most focused on position right now is that Ryder's offensive coordinator job. There have been multiple people that have said thanks, but no thanks. And I've said this all along that I felt like Kelly Jeffrey was the guy that Craig Dickinson and the Riders have wanted to hire. I think they want to make it look like they tried really hard to get some of the bigger names that maybe Rider Nation would want. But I think ultimately it could be Jeffrey. I think there are some possibilities for some dark horse candidates, and Pete Costanza is one of the known final two, so to say. But to me, that's the major focus now, because after that is filled, Roddy, then we can start looking at, okay, who does Jeffrey like at quarterback? And I happen to have an idea about that. And then we see how that landscape gets going in the offseason.
Yeah, so this is a tidal wave for the viewers that aren't totally familiar with the names, but the Saskatchewan Roughriders have, been turned down, we understand, or guys taking their name out of the running to be Saskatchewan's offensive coordinator, and we believe it's between the Argonauts receivers coach, Pete Costanza, Toronto's receivers coach, and Kelly Jeffrey. Like, I apologize, I don't know this game, but it's not a big name. Kelly or Kyle Jeffrey, and that's on me, I should get it, but it just kind of tells you it's not a big name.
It's Kelly Jeffrey, and I know him from his U Sports days at Mount Allison University, and he actually went and turned that program around. So there are some people he talked to throughout the league that do feel strongly about the job that Jeffrey could do in this role. But the fact that he's not a big name is going to cause a lot of question marks for Rider Nation. So it's going to be about how they market this and how they publicly talk about it PR-wise, and if they do go this direction with Jeffrey. And it's kind of obvious, right? You look at the offensive coaching staff, he's the only holdover from last year that Craig Dickinson and Jeremy O'Day decided to keep on the offensive side of the football. So that shows you that they were high on him. And if indeed it is Jeffrey, he's going to have to prove a lot of doubters wrong, because he's not a big name guy, right? There was a lot of people in Rider Nation that wanted Kahari Jones, but the Riders, I believe on purpose, lowballed Jones, and that led to him going to Ottawa with Bob Dice to be the offensive coordinator for the Red Blacks. Mark Mueller, the hometown boy, said, "Nah, I think I'll stay in Calgary." Part of that, I would imagine, was due to the uncertainty with this current regime going into the last year of their deals. So you come down to a guy that it sounds like Dickinson is high on and could be great, because we don't know, but really could go the other way as well. It's a pressure-packed situation to put Jeffrey in.
Well, listen, dude, I've extended the invitation for you to come down here to South Florida. You would be in your haven. And I'm sidestepping this for a second to say that I was at a poker night for Cardinal Gibbons High School the other night. They were talking about who was going to go to Liberty because they wanted Deion Sanders and they didn't get him. He went to Colorado. And I said, who are they getting at Liberty? They said, the Coastal Carolina guy. Point being, you can't always get the big name, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get a good guy. Right?
That's right. And I believe that's the case with Jeffrey, is that we got to give him a chance, right? The big, sexy name doesn't always necessarily come, and it doesn't always work out the way that you envision it. So perhaps this could be a revelation for the Riders, but the critical factor that I believe will lead to his either success or failure is the quarterback position and how well he manages that. I've heard from some people around him that he likes Dane Evans at the quarterback position. So if that's indeed a possibility and Bo Levi Mitchell signs in Hamilton, and we know Mitchell wants to play in a market where they care about football, and actually he would like to have an offensive line that could keep him upright. I don't think the Riders, as they're currently constructed from 2022, could do that very well, considering Cody Fajardo was sacked the league high 77 times. Well, I mean, the quarterbacks were in general, but Fajardo went down a bunch of times behind that line. So I think the quarterback position is going to be paramount for Jeffrey's success, how well he not only gets along with that player who ultimately becomes the starter in Saskatchewan, but how well he tailors the offense to his skill set. So I think that will be the next major question for the Riders to get an answer to after the offensive coordinator position is solved.
Where do you think Cody Fajardo plays next year?
It's a great, succinct question, my man, and there are possibilities here. I could see him potentially going back into some sort of a forced second try at the marriage in Saskatchewan. You could also see him in positions around the league. If indeed Nathan Rourke does sign an NFL contract, then I believe that's going to all be but a done deal. It just depends on the team where he's going to go take a shot. Then the BC Lions could make some sense because you would have a couple of guys with similar skill sets there, and Cody Fajardo and Vernon Adams Jr. as maybe QB1 and QB1A, so to speak. You could see Fajardo going to some other places potentially as a backup, like some people have mentioned the Ottawa Red Blacks. Now, I don't necessarily know if he ends up there, but there's going to be some options here after this plays out, because really, if he's not going to be the starter in Saskatchewan, every other team right now, except for BC, has a starter that they're prepared to roll with. Outside of Toronto, I still think there's a question mark there in terms of, does McLeod Bethel-Thompson indeed come back and play? Or is it Chad Kelly? You know, there might be an outside chance for Bo Levi Mitchell. But I think some of that stuff might have to play out first before Fajardo sees where he lands. But honestly, his best path to playing time, if the BC Lions like his skill set, could be out on the West Coast.
And he's well thought of in Toronto and BC. So it'll be very interesting to watch. And it's funny, being on the air in Atlanta, we had a lot of listener mail of Fajardo fans. They said, tell Cody he's got fans in Georgia. So we certainly passed that along. Justin, thanks for this. It goes by far too fast always. Merry Christmas, my friend. Keep in touch. I hope we can do it again.
It does, man. Happy holidays, buddy.
The Moose will rejoin us next for Overtime. It is a Football Friday, and we're live on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, your favorite podcast platform, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to The Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might fracture your wrist, resulting in a lifetime of painful arthritis. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca. You might not be injured if you slip and fall, or you might hit your head and cause a lifelong injury. Take safer steps with WorksafeSask.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. BDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Casino fancy.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Text 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Pick up your phone and text RP, that's Rod Pedersen. Text 902-518-3033.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Overtime. It's brought to you by the Four Seasons Sports Palace. We're glad to have you aboard. Four Seasons is your home for the NFL and the UFC. Darren Moose DuPont rejoins us, and as wild as it seems, Moose, we've actually kept it between the ditches for the whole 2 hours. It seems all over the road, but there's been, thought put into this, and it's tied up somewhat succinctly. Easy for Dunk to say, I can't. Terry Mullock is watching, and he is in Medicine Hat. He says, morning, RP. It's Terry from Medicine Hat. 2002. We were asking, what's the first NFL game you ever attended? And people have been chiming in from all over the place. Terry says, we went to Minnesota, Vikes, Giants, 65,000 fans, and the Friday night before, I went to my first college game, Wolverines versus the Gophers. Great time, 60,000 fans. How about that? So that would be fun. If you can mix in NFL and college, you're laughing. Now, I hope people don't get triggered by this, Darren. Don't. And I think I know, again, this is why I'm ready for the weekend. Part of why I didn't handle stress so well, because for years and years and years, I didn't have a day off for months on end, literally. Like probably about 10 months going without a day off. It's too much, man. I fried. It's dealing with people, dealing with stress, dealing with idiot bosses. Anyways, so this email, I get the wildest emails from PR firms. And this one, where the heck are they? Digital Third Coast is the company. They did a survey of the best and worst mascots in the National Hockey League. And do you want to know who the 5 best mascots are? The top 5 in the National Hockey League. Actually,
yeah.
Do you even know who the Leafs mascot is? Your team. Do you know who their mascot is?
Yeah, it's Carlton, the bear.
Yay! Tell him what he's won, Bob.
Right on.
The 5 favorite mascots in the National Hockey League. And I got to say, this is by, I would think, no particular order, but the Detroit Red Wings, Octopus. Mick E. Moose of the Winnipeg Jets. Wild Wing Duck of the Anaheim Ducks. Carlton the Bear of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Slapshot, the mascot, beloved mascot of the Washington Capitals. You want to hear the worst 5?
Let's do it.
That's where I said, don't get triggered out there. Harvey the Hound of the Calgary Flames. They're not going to like that in Calgary. From the Ottawa Senators, Spartacat. I'm just going to leave that there. From the Columbus Blue Jackets, Stinger. From the Seattle Kraken, Boy. And it's spelled B-U-O-Y. Get it? And from the Tampa Bay Lightning, Thunderbug. So there you go. Your top 5 and bottom 5 NHL mascots. And I just got to be happy to say that Stanley C. Panther of your Florida Panthers is somewhere in the middle. I'm not top 5. I'm not bottom 5. I'm middle of the road. I would take that rather than be bottom 5, wouldn't you? So,
oh yeah,
I would have. Yeah, go ahead.
Where's Gritty?
Not even rated. I just realized something. We got 4 minutes to go through Deal or No Deal, so I'm done with the poll. Just putting that there.
I'll be quick.
Here we go. Deal or No Deal for our exclusive sportsbook and betting partner, Bet Regal. This weekend, go and sign up for an account right now. You can play for free. All you need is an email address if you got that. Here we go, Moose. I give the betting lines. He decides whether he's going to take the bet or not from the official odds makers at Bet Regal. Beginning with the New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills favored by 9.5. Deal or no deal?
No deal. Giants keep it closer.
New York Jets at the Buffalo Bills.
Sorry, Jets keep it closer. Yeah.
Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are favored by 5.5. Deal or no deal?
Deal. I'll take the Bengals.
How about this one? The Battle of Texas. The Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys. Can you imagine the betting line is Cowboys by 17.5. Deal or no deal?
I hate big spreads. I go against them. No deal.
I got to agree with you, to be honest. Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. Lions favored by 2 at Ford Field. Deal or no deal?
No deal. I'll take the Vikings.
Philadelphia Eagles on the road at the New York Giants. NFC East clash. Eagles favored by 7. Deal or no deal?
That deal I'll take. I'll take the Eagles in that one.
That's 2 of us. Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Black and blue AFC North Division clash. Steelers favored by 2. Deal or no deal?
Yeah, I like that. The Steelers. No Lamar Jackson.
He's taking it. Jacksonville Jaguars at your Tennessee Titans. Another classic AFC South battle. Titans favored by 3.5 in the week they fired their general manager. Deal or no deal?
Deal. Titans win big.
The Miami Dolphins on the road at the LA Chargers. The Chargers favored by 3. I got to look that up. It's got Chargers favored by 3. Deal or no deal?
No deal. I'll take the Dolphins.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are favored by 3.5 with Brock Purdy at quarterback. Deal or no deal?
Deal. I like the 49ers.
Tom's going to kill him. Carolina at Seattle. Seahawks favored by 4. Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. KC favored by 9.5.
Deal.
And on Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots are at the Arizona Cardinals. The Patriots favored by 2. Deal or no deal?
No deal. Take the Cards on Monday night.
All right, everybody sign up. Get an account right now at betregal.net, and we'll see you all Monday, noon Eastern. What a great way to wrap up the show. Nice work, Jordan. Nice work, Moose, and everybody behind the scenes. See you Monday.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.